More than 2 million immigration cases are currently backlogged in U.S. courts. In some California cities, families are waiting years just to hear a decision. And now, officials are signaling that 2026 could bring one of the most aggressive enforcement shifts we've seen in decades. The question is no longer if change is coming, it's how fast it will hit and who will feel it first. Behind the headlines, something bigger is happening. Quiet policy updates, increased workplace inspections, faster court processing, expanded data tracking between agencies. To most people, it looks routine, but to thousands of families across California, it feels like the ground is slowly shifting beneath their feet. And what makes this moment different is that many experts believe the process has already begun, long before the public fully realizes it. So what's really happening? Who is most affected? And what should you be paying attention to right now? Stay with me, because the next few minutes could change how you see 2026 entirely. Number one, state-federal enforcement tensions are escalating. For years, California has been known for its sanctuary-style protections, creating limits on how much local law enforcement can cooperate with federal immigration authorities. But here's where things get complicated. While state laws may offer certain protections, federal agencies operate under a completely different authority. It's under its beat, and they don't need permission from the state to enforce federal immigration law. Recently, legal analysts have noticed a steady rise in federal-led operations, especially in areas tied to employment verification, visa compliance, and prior removal orders. What does that mean in simple terms? It means enforcement decisions are increasingly happening at the federal level, even if local agencies choose limited involvement. This creates tension and uncertainty. For families, that uncertainty can feel overwhelming. One policy says one thing, another agency enforces something else, and suddenly, people are unsure who has power in a given situation. What makes 2026 especially important is the political climate. Historically, election cycles tend to bring stronger rhetoric and sharper enforcement priorities. When federal leadership shifts its focus, agencies move faster. Cases that once sat quietly in backlogs can suddenly be reopened. Notices can be issued with little warning. So what can you actually do? First, know your rights during any interaction with officials. Second, keep your immigration paperwork organized and up to date. Even small errors can cause major delays. And third, avoid relying on rumors spreading through social media. Unverified legal information matters more than ever. The bottom line is this. When state and federal policies move in different directions, it's everyday people who feel the pressure first. And understanding the tension is the first step toward, if this opened your eyes even a little, drop a comment below with just one word. Ready. So we know you're staying informed. We put real effort into breaking this down clearly for you, so please subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you the truth. Number two, workplace audits are increasing. Imagine showing up to work on a normal Tuesday morning, and by noon, federal officers are reviewing employee records in the back office. No warning, no headlines, just paperwork being examined line by line. That's the reality of increased workplace audits, and many businesses across California are already feeling the pressure. In recent years, federal agencies have expanded I-9 employment verification inspections, especially in industries like construction, agriculture, hospitality, and transportation. These audits don't always start with dramatic raids. Often they begin with a simple notice requesting records. But here's the catch. Even small paperwork mistakes can trigger serious consequences. Missing signatures, incorrect dates, expired documents not properly updated. Like what looks like a tiny oversight can quickly become a major legal issue. Why does this matter for 2026? Because enforcement priorities often shift toward employers first. When businesses face scrutiny, employees can become vulnerable, especially those with pending cases, temporary protections, or documentation gaps. It creates a ripple effect. Employers grow cautious, hiring slows, anxiety spreads quietly through workplaces. So what can you do right now? If you're an employee, make sure your documents are current and consistent. If you've moved, update your address. If your status has changed, confirm your employer has the correct information. And if you're a business owner, conducting a proactive internal audit before the government does can make all the difference. The key here isn't panic, it's preparation. Because audits don't usually announce themselves ahead of time. They simply show up, and being prepared today could protect your job tomorrow. If you've ever worried about workplace inspections, comment "Stay ready" below. Let's see who's paying attention. We put serious effort into delivering clear, no-fluff updates like this, so take 1 second to subscribe. It's just one click, but it keeps this channel alive. Number 3, Advanced data tracking is changing the game. What if the biggest shift in immigration enforcement isn't happening in courtrooms or at job sites, but inside computer systems? Over the past few years, government agencies have dramatically upgraded their digital tracking and data sharing systems, and most people have no idea how powerful these tools have become. Today, information moves faster than ever between federal departments. Visa applications, address updates, tax filings, employment records, they're often cross-checked automatically. What used to take weeks of manual review can now happen in seconds through algorithm-based screening systems. That means inconsistencies that may have gone unnoticed years ago can now trigger alerts almost instantly. This doesn't mean there's someone watching every move, but it does mean the margin for error is shrinking. A misspelled name on one form, an outdated address on another, a document that doesn't match across agencies. Small details can raise red flags in ways they didn't before. Why is this especially important heading into 2026? Because when enforcement priorities tighten, these digital systems allow agencies to act faster and more efficiently. Cases can be flagged, reviewed, and escalated without much delay. The process feels quieter, but it moves quicker. So what's the smart move? Double check every filing. Make sure your name, date of birth, and address are consistent across all documents. Keep copies of everything. If you're unsure about past applications, consult a qualified legal professional to review your records before a problem appears. The reality is simple. Technology has changed the landscape, and in a world where data connects everything, accuracy is no longer optional. It's protection. If this made you think twice about your paperwork, comment double check below. Let's start a conversation. We spend hours researching and simplifying this for you, so please subscribe. It's just one click, but it means everything to our channel. Number 4, public benefits scrutiny is getting stricter. Here's something many people don't realize. Immigration enforcement doesn't only happen through arrests or courtrooms. Sometimes it happens quietly, through paperwork tied to public benefits programs. And as we move closer to 2026, verification systems connected to certain benefits are becoming more detailed and more closely reviewed. Programs related to healthcare, housing assistance, and financial aid often require identity verification and status documentation. In the past, reviews could take time, and inconsistencies might not immediately raise concern. But now, digital systems allow agencies to cross-reference information much faster. That means if details don't match across applications, it can trigger follow-up questions. This doesn't mean people should avoid seeking help they legally qualify for, but it does mean accuracy matters more than ever. Even something as simple as using a different version of your name or forgetting to update your address can create confusion in automated systems. Another important factor is perception. During politically sensitive periods, benefit programs sometimes receive extra attention. Policies can shift, documentation requirements can tighten, and misunderstandings can spread quickly online, causing unnecessary fear. So what's the practical move? First, verify eligibility requirements through official sources, not social media rumors. Second, keep copies of every application and approval notice. Third, if you're unsure how accepting certain benefits may impact your immigration status, speak directly with a qualified immigration attorney or accredited representative. The key message here is not panic, it's precision. Public benefits exist to support those who qualify, but in a climate of increased review, making sure your information is clear, consistent, and truthful can prevent bigger problems later. If this information helped you see things differently, comment, stay informed below. We read every single one. We put real time and research into these videos, so please subscribe. It's just one click and it helps us keep bringing you updates that truly matter. Number 5, immigration court backlogs. Are moving for years, many immigration cases sat in massive backlogs. Some families waited 3, 4, even 5 years just to receive a hearing date. That long delay created a strange sense of temporary stability. People built lives, started businesses, enrolled their kids in school, and all while their cases quietly remained pending. But now that pause is beginning to disappear. Immigration courts across the country have been under pressure to process cases faster. More judges have been assigned. Scheduling systems have been updated. Priority categories are being reshuffled. And as we approach 2026, there's a noticeable push to reduce the backlog. On the surface, that sounds like good news. Faster decisions mean less uncertainty, right? Not always. When cases move faster, outcomes, whether positive or negative, also come faster. People who assumed they had years before their hearing may suddenly receive notices with much shorter timelines. Missed court dates, outdated addresses, or unopened mail can quickly turn into serious consequences, and once a decision is issued, reversing it can be difficult. So, what should you do right now? First, regularly check your case status through official court systems. Second, make sure your address is updated immediately if you move. Even a small delay can cause missed notices. Third, prepare your documentation early. Don't wait until a hearing is weeks away. The shift isn't about fear, it's about momentum. For years, the system moved slowly. Now, it's starting to speed up. And when momentum builds, being proactive can make all the difference. Unlocking, if you or someone you know has a pending case, comment, check status below. Tiki, let's remind each other to stay alert. We dedicate serious effort to researching and simplifying this for you, so please subscribe. It's just one click, but it keeps this information flowing. Number 6, local law enforcement policies may quietly shift. When people think about immigration enforcement, they usually picture federal agents, but here's what many don't realize. Local law enforcement policies can change, and those changes can quietly affect entire communities. California has long limited how much local police cooperate with federal immigration authorities. However, policies are not identical across every county and city. Some jurisdictions interpret cooperation rules differently. Others adjust internal procedures based on new leadership, funding pressures, or legal challenges. These shifts don't always make front page news, but they can influence how information is shared and how detainers are handled. As political pressure builds heading toward 2026, local agencies may face increased scrutiny from both state and federal levels. That can lead to policy clarifications, internal memos, or enforcement adjustments that the average resident may never hear about until it directly affects someone. For example, a change in how jail release notifications are processed could impact individuals with pending immigration concerns. A revised data sharing agreement could alter how information flows between departments. These are administrative details, but administrative details matter. So what's the smart approach? First, stay informed about your specific city or county policies, not just statewide headlines. Second, attend community information sessions hosted by legal aid groups or advocacy organizations. Third, understand your constitutional rights during any interaction with law enforcement, pegs regardless of immigration status. This isn't about assuming the worst, it's about recognizing that local rules can evolve quietly. And when policies shift at the local level, they often affect people faster than federal announcements do. Awareness at the community level may be one of the most powerful forms of preparation. If you believe staying informed locally matters, comment "Know your city" below. Let's see where everyone's watching from. We put hours into researching and breaking this down clearly, so please subscribe. It's just one click and it truly supports the work we do. Number 7, stricter visa and asylum processing is underway. Many people assume that once you've applied for a visa or asylum, the process follows a predictable timeline. But heading into 2026, that assumption may no longer hold true. Immigration officials are now tightening documentation requirements and scrutinizing cases more closely than ever, making the path to approval more complex. Legal experts have noticed a trend. Authorities are asking for more detailed evidence, conducting more in-depth interviews, and cross-checking every document thoroughly. Even minor discrepancies, like mismatched dates, missing signatures, or incomplete forms, can delay a case or trigger additional verification steps. For people already waiting years for decisions, these delays can feel like moving goalposts. This shift matters not just for new applicants, but for those with pending cases as well. Courts and agencies are prioritizing compliance and accuracy, meaning applicants must now be extra vigilant. Missing documents or inconsistencies can create setbacks that ripple across months or even years of planning, impacting work, housing, and family stability. So, what can you do to protect yourself? First, review every form and document carefully before submission. Double-check that names, birth dates, and addresses are consistent everywhere. Second, organize supporting evidence clearly. Photos, letters, or official records. Third, seek guidance from a licensed immigration attorney or accredited representative to ensure your application meets the latest standards. Preparation here isn't optional, it's essential. The faster and more precise your documentation, the better your chances of avoiding unnecessary complications in an increasingly strict system. If you're preparing for visa or asylum updates, comment "ready to apply" below, and we want to hear your experiences. We spend hours researching and simplifying this for you, so please subscribe. It's just one click and it keeps this channel alive with critical updates. Number 8. Political climate is driving enforcement changes. Immigration policy doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's deeply tied to the political climate. As we approach 2026, experts are warning that election year pressures could push federal and state agencies to prioritize enforcement in ways we haven't seen before. Political shifts influence not only the policies themselves, but also how aggressively they are implemented. Historically, immigration enforcement tends to ramp up during election cycles. Campaign promises, public opinion, and changing leadership priorities can all impact who gets targeted, which cases are fast-tracked, and how resources are allocated. For individuals and families, this means that even if no new laws are passed, enforcement patterns can change overnight, affecting jobs, schools, and daily routines. The tricky part is that these changes are often subtle at first. Notices may appear slightly sooner, interviews may be scheduled faster, or enforcement officers may begin reviewing records in new ways. Most people don't notice until a direct impact hits their community. That's why awareness is critical. Waiting for headlines or social media rumors is too late. Being proactive can make the difference between a smooth process and unexpected complications. So what should you do? Stay informed through reliable news outlets and official government updates. Understand how local and federal priorities may intersect. If you're concerned about your own status, consult a qualified immigration attorney to understand how upcoming political changes could affect you. Preparation is your best defense in a climate where policy focus can shift quickly. Recognizing the influence of politics on enforcement allows you to anticipate changes rather than react to them. A critical step for anyone living in California in 2026. If you're paying attention to these shifts, comment "election alert" below. Let's see who's staying ahead. We put hours of research into these updates, so please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep bringing you information that truly matters. Number 9. Interior enforcement is expanding quietly. When most people think about immigration enforcement, they picture border patrols and airport checkpoints. But here's the reality. Interior enforcement inside cities, workplaces, and neighborhoods is ramping up, and many residents may not even notice until it affects them directly. California, despite its sanctuary policies, is not immune to these operations. Federal authorities are increasingly working with local agencies to identify undocumented individuals, monitor compliance, and follow up on pending cases. These efforts often begin quietly: a routine workplace check, a local law enforcement report, or automated alerts from data systems. Over time, these small actions create a larger enforcement net that can catch individuals who were previously under the radar. This shift matters because it affects day-to-day life. People may face increased questioning at work, school, or even during routine traffic stops. Families may experience stress, confusion, or fear of participating in public programs. And the speed of enforcement is increasing, meaning that delays or mistakes in paperwork can have real and immediate consequences. So what can you do to stay prepared? First, stay aware of your local policies and any changes in law enforcement cooperation. Second, make sure all your documentation is accurate and up to date. Third, build a support network in your community. Legal aid groups, trusted neighbors, and advocacy organizations can provide guidance and reassurance. Preparation and awareness can be your best protection in this shifting landscape. Understanding interior enforcement is critical because it highlights how immigration changes aren't just about borders. They affect communities in very real ways, quietly but powerfully. If this made you rethink your daily routine, comment "stay alert" below. Let's see who's watching closely. We pour hours into researching and breaking down these updates, so please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep bringing you crucial information. Number 10, community level impact. How families and neighborhoods feel the pressure immigration enforcement isn't just about laws, courts, or government agencies. It's about people, families, and communities. Even small policy changes ripple outward, affecting housing, jobs, schools, and the mental health of entire neighborhoods. By the time headlines appear, many families have already felt the impact quietly but profoundly. Recent studies show that enforcement shifts can increase stress and anxiety, disrupt employment, and even affect children's performance in school. When families live with uncertainty, They may avoid public programs, hesitate to engage with local authorities, or limit participation in community events. Neighborhood economies can feel the strain too. Fewer workers in certain industries, changes in consumer patterns, and businesses hesitating to hire or expand. The effects are real, measurable, and wide-ranging. What makes 2026 especially significant is the combination of faster case processing, increased audits, stricter documentation requirements, and heightened political focus. When these factors converge, the community-level impact is amplified. Even families who thought they were safe under local sanctuary policies may feel the consequences. So, how can communities prepare? Communication and knowledge are critical. Attend community legal workshops, know your rights, and create a family preparedness plan. Build connections with trusted organizations and neighbors who can provide guidance and support. Small steps now can prevent panic later and give families a sense of control amidst uncertainty. At the end of the day, awareness at the community level may be the strongest protection anyone has, because change doesn't just affect individuals, it affects the people around them too. If this resonates with you, comment "Community Strong" below. Let's hear how you're supporting your neighborhood. We spend countless hours researching and simplifying this for you, so please subscribe. It's just one click and it helps us continue delivering life-changing updates. California is standing at a crossroads between increased workplace audits, advanced digital tracking, stricter benefit verification, faster court processing, and heightened political pressure. 2026 is shaping up to be a turning point for immigration enforcement. The reality is clear. These changes aren't coming slowly. They're already in motion. And whether you're directly affected or part of a larger community, understanding these shifts is no longer optional. What makes this moment especially critical is how interconnected all these factors are. Federal and state tensions, interior enforcement, and local policy adjustments don't operate in isolation. Each new regulation, updated data system, or court decision ripples outward, touching families, workplaces, and neighborhoods. Even small oversights, an outdated address, inconsistent paperwork, or missed deadline can have consequences far beyond what many anticipate. Knowledge and preparation are your most powerful tools in navigating this evolving landscape. But there's also a sense of empowerment here. Awareness gives you the ability to act before enforcement actions escalate. By keeping documentation accurate, attending community workshops, consulting qualified attorneys, and staying informed about local and federal policy changes, you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Small proactive steps today can prevent anxiety, legal complications, and unnecessary stress tomorrow. Ultimately, the key takeaway is simple. Don't wait until change happens to react. Prepare now, stay informed, and be proactive. Communities that understand what's coming, families that organize and communicate, and individuals who know their rights will navigate 2026 far more confidently. This is about survival, yes, but also about taking control in a moment when uncertainty feels overwhelming. Remember, the policies we've discussed aren't just abstract rules, they affect real lives. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and take action today. Your preparation can make the difference when 2026 enforcement initiatives continue to unfold.